Okay, so I'm going to work out some of the problems that you were given on the quiz, the 8-1 quiz, okay? This was before the break. We took a quiz, and it was the laws of exponents, okay, which it says right up here at the top. So we're going to kind of review before we jump into Unit 9, okay? So I'm going to work these out, and then you write these down on your paper, and then you're going to do a couple of examples on your own at the end and turn it in for your grade today, okay? All right, so let's look at the first one. This was Law 1, okay, and it says we add our exponents. So that means you're going to have your base stays the same, which is 3, but you're going to add your exponent. So it's going to be 6 plus -2. So now that's going to give you 3 to the 6 plus -2 is to the 4. And 3 to the 4th is 81. If you put that in your calculator, 3 to the 4th power, that's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So the answer is 81. Okay, 2. This is, I believe, Law 5. Not looking at them in front of me, but you can look back, refer back to your laws in the notes. And it says that you multiply these two. So when you have a power outside of the parenthesis and you have a power inside the parenthesis, that you multiply these two. So your base stays the same, which is 2, but now the power is 2 times 3. So that equals 2 to the 6th. So now then put 2 to the 6th in your calculator, or you can multiply 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and you should get 64. So that's your answer. All right, so this should be Law 2. And your bases are the same, so the 2's are the same. So that tells me that I am going to subtract my exponents. So 2 is my base, and then your exponent is going to be 2 minus 6. So equals 2. This is going to be 2 to the -4. But we cannot have a negative exponent, okay? It says write answers with positive exponents, okay? So we cannot leave this as a -4. So we need to make that a positive. And to do that, Law 7 tells us that when we have a negative exponent, we can make it positive by flipping it to the other side of the fraction. So this is basically 2 to the -4/1, right? So now we're going to move it. So we're going to put 2 to the 4th on the bottom. So this is what Law 7 says. Look at that law if you're not familiar with it. So this makes the negative sign go away in the exponent. So now we can just figure out what is 2 to the 4th. So 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So 1/16. That's your answer. Okay, number 4, 1/3 to the -3. So I think this may be Law 4. I'm not looking, I don't know. Can't remember exactly. Law 4, okay, where you distribute, okay? So you're going to have 1 to the -3 over 3 to the -3. That -3 outside the parentheses just means that we distribute it to both the top and the bottom. So now we have negative exponents, which we can't have. So to get rid of those, we use Law 7, and we're going to flip them. So the 3 to the 3rd goes to the top, and the 1 to the 3rd goes to the bottom. And now you just do the math. 3 to the 3rd is 27, and 1 to the 3rd is 1. So your answer is 27. All right, so number 5 is again Law 5, like we did up on number 2, because you have an exponent outside your parenthesis and inside your parenthesis. Now the difference between this one and number 2 is that there's a variable here, okay? So this exponent actually goes to both of these terms, okay? So it comes like 4 to the 3rd and then x to the 2 times 3. So the 3rd power goes to the coefficient 4, and then it also goes to the x squared. And the law says that you multiply these two together. So now you're going to have 4 to the 3rd, so 4 times 4 is 16 times 4 is 64. And then x to the 2 times 3, which will be x to the 6th. So this is your answer. All right, let's look at number 6. This is going to be law 6, and it tells you that anything to the 0 power is 1. So that means x to the 0 is 1, and you're going to times that by y cubed, because this value right here is equal to 1. So now that's going to give you y cubed, and that's your answer. Okay, number 7. 7x to the negative 2 times y all over 2x y cubed. So my first step here would be law 7. When I have a negative exponent, in the notes I've showed y'all before, but I always move my negative exponents first and make them positive. So then I only have to work with positive exponents. Okay, so your 7 is going to stay the same, and your y is going to stay the same on the top. But this x to the negative 2, we're going to move it to the bottom, because that's what law 7 says. To make this a positive, I need to move it. So on my bottom, I'm going to have 2, and now I'm going to move this x to the negative 2 down. So x to the 2 comes down, times, and now I'm going to write x and y cubed. Okay, so that was already there. The only thing I did was I moved this down here. So now I'm going to do 7y over 2. Now then this right here, these x's can be combined. That's law 1. And you add your exponents. So you're going to get x to the 3rd, y to the 3rd. Because remember, your x right here is to the 1 power. So it's 2 plus 1, which gives you 3. And then y to the 3rd. Now then your last step, you're not done yet, and the reason why you know is because you still have these y's that you can combine right here. So let's do that last. So we're going to have 7 over, and then the 2x cubed. That's all staying the same. The only thing we're changing are these y's. And you have y, which is y to the 1, over y to the 3rd. So this is going to be law 2, and it tells you that you subtract your exponents. So it becomes y to the 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 gives you negative 2. So since it's a negative, y to the negative 2, that means I'm going to put it on the bottom as y to the 2. Okay, because this right here is going to equal y to the negative 2, which tells me to write it on the bottom. Now if I would have gotten a positive y to the positive 2, I would have wrote it on the top. All right, let's look at number 8. So let's see, let's flip these, let's make these positive. Let's use law 7. So we're going to flip, all of these are negative. So the y to the 2 is going to come to the top, and the x to the 4 on the bottom. And now our x to the 4 is going to move to the top, and our y to the 2 is going to move to the bottom. We're going to multiply these across. You're going to get x squared y to the 4th over x to the 4th y squared. All I did was just combine them because we're multiplying them. So now here, though, you can have, let's see, sorry. I'm trying to look here. What did I do? I think I wrote them wrong. X, yeah, I can't see. I think I was looking at the wrong line. So this should be x to the 4th and y squared. There we go. Okay, so anyways, now you're going to combine these, and this is law 2. And it says subtract them. So 4 minus 4 gives you 0. So you have x to the 0. And then 2 minus 2 gives you 0. So you have y to the 0. And in law 6, it tells us anything to the 0 power is 1. So that means you're going to have x to the 0 is 1, times y to the 0 is 1. So 1 times 1 gives you 1. So your answer is 1. All right, so this last one, number 9 in this section, let's move our negatives. So this one and this one, I'm going to move down to the bottom. So I'm going to rewrite it, 5x squared over 8 to the y, 1, times negative 2y over x times, this is x to the 1 because I'm moving this one to the bottom, and then I'm going to rewrite